Welcome back. Earlier this morning, we were talking with the Travis County Judge Andy Brown about the search and rescue operations still going on here in Travis County after this weekend's deadly flash flooding.
KXAN's Barrett Tryon joining us live near Leander, where crews have been zoning in to find those missing. And this is really a starting point for those operations for support and rescue, right, Barrett?
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Erica and Tom. You know, when this water started coming in and the rainfall on Saturday, it was very centralized and it just got dumped on in this area. And all that water obviously has to go somewhere, and it quickly overfilled Big Sandy Creek, which caused that destruction. And that's where rescue efforts are focused on. We're outside Rocky Mountain Baptist Church, and this is one of the spots where first responders meet daily. This is also where people in the area who might have been evacuated or who might need some of those daily essential supplies because they just had to get out of their homes and they might not be able to get back to them. They have all of that here. Now, as you mentioned, we talked to Travis County Judge Andy Brown this morning. He said that crews are physically walking that 18 or so mile stretch of Big Sandy Creek, and they're using thermal imaging guns, like heat guns, to see what they can find. But of course, they're dealing with lots of debris as they begin this search and rescue mission. We expect them to be back here starting around 7 o'clock or so this morning. But again, just devastation in this particular part. And it's something, it's been raining a little bit this morning, and certainly not what people wanted to see.
Yeah, Barrett, we appreciate your coverage. I know you've been working all weekend, continue on this Monday morning. Thank you for everything you've done. We want to turn to those families impacted and the support the communities are showing them at Cassis Elementary in West Austin. We've seen these green ribbons. Those ribbons are lining the poles and the trees outside of the elementary school.
And I think you're going to see them in a lot of parts of Texas because the families impacted are all over the Texas area. It is a sign of support from the community, broken hearts as families learn more. Camp Mystic girls did not survive the catastrophic floodwaters that inundated all girls Christian camp on early Friday morning.
Try to move forward with their lives, knowing that there'll always be a place that is empty because those children are gone.
The family of Cassis Elementary School student Lenny McCown said that it is with the heaviest of hearts we must share that our sweet Lenny is with the Lord in heaven. State officials say they are still searching for nearly a dozen Mystic campers who are still missing and dozens of other people who are unaccounted for across Central Texas.
Our hearts go out to her family. As search and rescue efforts continue, the state also looking for additional information about people not on that list of those they should be looking for, people who might have been visiting, maybe they were camping along the river. You can find all the information about who you can reach out to on our website, kxan.com. We know that right now there are still more than 100 low water crossings and roads closed across our area because of all this water.
Crews have put up barricades in so many different places to block people from potentially driving into problem spots. But KXAN's Mercedes Hernandez found one spot where it looks like someone had moved them.
Good morning. I'm near Ranch to Market Road 1869. I was actually headed on this road behind me to go check out some other damage that our crews this weekend saw. This blockade right here had been moved out of the roadway. I drove through it thinking the lane was open and came across down this hill, down some pretty significant bridge damage. Now, once my tires went over that first kind of drop off, the asphalt there maybe at least 5 inches thick or something, so that was very scary. I could see the damage for myself. It was dark at the time. Turned around, called 911 because I wanted to make sure that nobody else drove through that blockade and drove on that bridge because the structural integrity just doesn't seem intact now. They did send out a sheriff's deputy to block off this road, and now they're kind of down here turning people around as well. So please be aware of the roads as you're driving, especially on these kind of back roads. Now that the sun's coming up, I'm not too worried about that as I check out more traffic damage, but definitely something to be aware of as this area still recovers from all of that flood damage. Mercedes Hernandez, KXAN News.
And we're taking a live picture, or actually just looking at some images here from Camp Mystic there. Some of the camps, you can see a lot of damage, still a lot of search underway to find those people who have gone missing. Camp Mystic there, one of the main areas hit. Now, today we did hear from the governor and the Texas Department of Emergency Management talking about a lot of what was going on, the damage, the rescue efforts, as well as the resources that the federal government is sending down. We've got Kelly Wiley standing by. She was at that press conference. Kelly, what did we learn today about those efforts, the resources, and as well as some of the harder hitting questions on, why maybe people weren't warned sooner?
State officials tell me their top priority is to find those 11 children from Camp Mystic who are missing and all the other people who are unaccounted for across Central Texas. There's a 17-year-old girl out of Burnett County unaccounted for. There's a fire chief from Marble Falls that is still missing. All yesterday and today, we've been hearing from families who have been reunited with their children from Camp Mystic, but also we're hearing from families who have heard the worst news possible, that their child did not survive the floodwaters that inundated that camp. And we know that there's several crews, hundreds of people that are on the ground, in the air, searching for missing campers and for missing people all across Central Texas. But we also know the state is utilizing the University of North Texas to quickly run DNA so that they can help identify adults and children that they have recovered from floodwaters.
We also intensify our focus on the families affected by this. They're going through horrific events that have turned their lives upside down. We're working to aid them, assist them with regard to counseling, grief, all kinds of things we can do to assist those families.
And there was an urgency today in the press conference with the governor and the chief of emergency management for the state, because they are now talking about another priority, which is evacuating and warning people that could be affected by the weather over the next 24 hours. They're wanting to make sure that people are not going out when they don't have to, because while they're not expecting the amount of rainfall that they saw in Kerr County earlier this weekend, they're saying that the grounds are already saturated and there's a likelihood that we're going to see more flooding that can be dangerous for people.
Things have settled down at this point, thankfully, but we were actually crossing the bridge over the Guadalupe River when the calls came in from the newsroom to let us know. Thank you guys so much for that, by the way. And something I want to point out is what we saw from the people as this happened. That road and the bridge was lined with volunteers who were sanctioned to be there to help in these search operations. They were all not only running back to their car, but there was this combination of fear and true and pure care for one another that we were seeing from everybody. Just, you can imagine how much fear they had given how drastic and dire the situation was on Friday. The moment they heard there was a possibility of more flooding, they ran to everyone they knew, were telling us as we drove by, hey, you guys need to get to high ground, you guys need to get to high ground. And we were able to speak with some of them about what their tasks were throughout the day once everything settled down.
Steps away from rushing water, volunteers hack and saw through debris.
There was some concern there may have been a body under the bridge and there's a big debris pile.
And the heaviness of that statement not lost on Charlie Wolf and Johnny Fjord.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a sobering thought. You know that it's going to be either someone you know or someone's child that you know, so it's very sobering for sure.
The catastrophic flooding flowed into Center Point, where these volunteers worked, after sweeping through Hunt, Ingram, and Kerrville, and was a primary location for search and rescue operations Sunday. Dozens are dead across Kerr County, and so many are missing. Officials can't even put an official number on.
I mean, we're just here to serve and make sure that everybody's recovered and all those families have closure. So that's really where my mindset's at.
One thing for sure, in Texas, our communities support each other. We're not going to sit around and wait for help from somewhere else. Everybody's going to get in their trucks. We're going to come out and get to work.
We can't see it right now because it's dark out, but I am at the same spot where I was live with you all day on Friday, and the river is just behind me. It was moving so quickly on Friday, and the comparison to now with how slow it's moving, just wanted to point that out for everyone, and just mention, to echo what those volunteers we just heard from said, how many people are out here in the community trying to help those who lost more than they did, Nabil.
On there, as we learn more about the destruction left behind by the deadly flooding across central Texas, there are still stories of survival that continue to be told. Our KXAN's Grace Reeder sat down with the Leander family who were swept away Saturday morning. They survived, though, by climbing a tree. Here's her story.
Homes wiped off their foundations, cars and trees. Parts of western Travis County, including the southern tip of Leander, devastated by floods this weekend. Crews are still searching for missing people.
My car floated off. We still haven't found it. And then we watched our neighbors in their double wide float past us with their whole family in the house.
This family says they're lucky to be alive after being swept away while trying to escape in this truck.
Bumped into the trailer and then ended up, you'll see our truck right here, up against the tree. My dad got me out. I climbed the tree. He handed my daughter to me. And then we sat in that tree for about an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Just a few streets down, a list of people who may still be missing posted at the front of the Round Mountain Baptist Church.
Greatest need is information. People they just want to know what's going on. They want to know where their loved ones are.
The church is serving as a makeshift meeting place for this community near Sandy Creek and for crews still searching on Sunday.
When you're on Facebook and you see devastation like this, or on social media and you see devastation like this, it's so easy to scroll past. But when it's in your own backyard, there is no scrolling past it.
Despite the devastation here, neighbors helping neighbors as this community works to piece itself back together.
Leander at its best, no two ways about it. Community supporting community.
Grace Reeder, KXAN News.
Following the latest developments across Kerr County, what's going on, and Bree has been following this very closely. A lot of damage down there. If we could take things for you, Bree, still the danger is that rain continuing to fall, and they're saying there are some flood warnings in your area. What are you seeing out there?
That's right. The rain is officially coming down where we are in Center Point, which is just southeast of Kerrville. And when those official emergency warnings came around 3 o'clock today, we were actually driving on this very bridge and it's empty now. But earlier this afternoon, it was lined with cars. There were a couple first responders, but the majority of the people here were all volunteers who were helping search these riverbanks for missing people after there were some potential reports over here. I do want to make it very clear that I have been in constant contact with our Tommy House about the river levels here, so we are in a safe space and we are right near high ground. This area isn't officially evacuated at this point, but earlier this afternoon, as that emergency came in, I mean, you can imagine the just immediate panic anytime you hear flood potential in this area now, given all of the devastation that's happened. People were just jetting out of here. Again, that was a couple of hours ago. Now, as for the damage inflicted on Friday, we spoke with the owner of an RV park just a couple blocks down about what he saw.
We got everybody out safely. We had them out for about 15 minutes before the wall of water hit. It was terrible. It took everything I own, trailers, shipping containers, dump beds, everything. It completely cleaned this 3 acres off. You couldn't see that water was going at least 20, 30 miles per hour through here. And went across Highway 27, 5 foot high, and wiped out Amy's place across the street. It was terrible.
I also want to give you guys another look at the damage here right now. We can kind of take a really wide look, Aiden, at everything. Everything's just kind of slanted. All of the water came from this way. We're looking kind of downstream here. All of the trees are pushed over. This street sign, a huge steel pole, is completely on the ground. Just another sign of how awful this devastation is. And earlier this afternoon, we did get a chance to speak with some of the volunteers working here today. We'll hear a little bit from them later on tonight at 10. And we're going to go check out some other parts of Kerr County right now and check in with folks there in the Bill.